up? Welcome to your Daily Buckeye Blitz for a Monday, April 1st. It's the first of the month. Wake up, get up, get up. You know how we do it here. April 1st, 2024. Welcome in. It is officially birthday month in my house. My birthday, my dad's birthday, a few passed away relatives, grandma, a couple uncles maybe in there, my sister's birthday. So love it. I do accept cash as a gift. So if you're wondering. Anyway, we're getting into so Saturdays, student appreciation, scrimmage, practice, whatever you want to call it. Had a ton of notes that I gathered from multiple sources. So I'm going to run through them here. I'm going to try and hit on everybody that was notable. Some guys, like linemen, were really hard to see. I saw in some of the videos that Luke Montgomery was at right guard, for example. It's really difficult to see from a lot of these videos going through them, like the Zapruder film, you know. But anyway, we're going to run through them. First of all, we should all be aware, first and foremost, that the Jeremiah Smith hype train is out of freaking control. Yes. He made some plays on multiple corners on Saturday. So yeah, he won on a contested deep ball down the right sideline, made an adjustment on an underthrown pass. He's going against Denzel Burke, by the way. He's a starting cornerback, one of the best in the country in coverage. And he also had Caleb Downs coming over the top in the area, closing in. Then he also had a few routine receptions where he just used his speed and route running to create separation. Brian Day said after practice, Jeremiah, quote, Jeremiah has really stepped in. He's got his black stripe off real quick. He's got a great approach. You know, I'm going to be careful what I say, but he's certainly a pleasure to watch. We're all very excited about his future. Yeah. And he also said he's going to be playing a lot of football. Yeah, you know what that means. So we'll start off with the QB battle. Halfway through the scrimmage, Ryan Day was making a concerted effort to get as many reps as possible for Will Howard and Devin Brown. There's not really a clear separation in their play so far, but both had their positive plays. Howard drew some praise for his poise and command in the pocket. Ryan Day compared him to C.J. Stroud in that regard after the scrimmage, just in the pocket area. That's it. Well, and he delivered a handful of solid throws, kept the offense on schedule. You know, Devin Brown, he stretched the field a bit. They tried, you could tell, they tried to stretch the field quite a bit on big pass plays. So Brown hit a couple more explosive plays than Howard did, but either QB could take the job and lead this offense to a championship, in my opinion. Lincoln Keenholz had a nice throw down the seam early in practice. Julian Sayin was flashing big time arm talent throughout the day. But the battle for the starting job really is just between Howard and Brown. You know, the defense makes it hard to evaluate the offensive line. So they're just abusing these guys at times. We'll get into some reps and details and stuff in a second, but Jim Knowles threw blitzes at that offense all day long. Sonny Styles on a blitz, CJ Hicks multiple times coming on a blitz. There's like no chance of any quarterback being able to do anything, you know. Should say that Lathan Ransom is still limited due to his injury, still recovering a bit. So they held him out. Multiple guys at every position made plays during the scrimmage. The defense, one of the best in the country last year, is looking even better. That's scary good. And there were some wrinkles in on the way for the ground game. Chip Kelly called a counter option to Emeka, and he had both Trey and Quinshawn in the backfield. So I like a little two running back set, and then they ran a little option play to Emeka. So sounds awesome. Brandon Ennis was held out with a minor injury, so that kind of sucks. Would have loved to see him get some catches, but hopefully he'll be ready for the spring game. That's all that matters at this point. So the carries on the ground by Emeka were effective even against the Buckeye defense. So that tells you something. So some new play calling, better execution in the ground game could just be the recipe the offensive line needs to attack the defense, other defenses, in unexpected ways. So let's get into some reps here. On offense, we'll go offense, then defense. Offense, the first O-line group, they started Fry at right tackle, Luke Montgomery at right guard, McLaughlin at center, and then left guard Austin Severeld, left tackle George Fitzpatrick. So on the left side, those are probably your twos. They kind of mixed them up there with the ones on the right. McLaughlin's probably your starting center. And then the left side was the second team. Then they started rolling quarterbacks early on in practice, just changing every snap was a different quarterback. Devin Brown hit freshman Sam Williams-Dixon on a check down. Third team offensive line was Ian Moore, Toby Wilson, Josh Padilla, Devontae Armstrong, and Zen Mahalski. Interesting. Somebody of how long Zen has been there is still on third team. It's not a good sign, but anyway. So Devin Brown and Will Howard gradually got more reps than the other quarterbacks, and all the quarterbacks except Aaron Nolan got snaps with the starters. Ryan Day said that afterwards that Aaron Nolan was working through a minor injury. So also doesn't help that you got 5 quarterbacks, but got to do something. So Emeka ran the ball a few times early on. We talked about Chip Kelly adding some new wrinkles, and he showed a number of misdirection running plays. So that sounds interesting. Jeremiah Smith made a couple big plays. Lincoln Keenholz floated one down the sideline to Smith with Jermaine Matthews in coverage. Matthews should have been flagged for a pass interference, but it didn't matter. Smith went through the contact up over Matthews to make the catch. Guys, just abusing DBs, man. Julian Sand had a nice play where he dropped back, looked off the linebacker in zone coverage to create a window and ripped the ball right where that window was to Emeka over the middle. So Julian Sand seems to have a good feel for things out there on the field, and he doesn't get all jittery or, off pace, happy feet and stuff. So that's good sign. Some offensive line versus defensive line takes here. Josh Simmons, Kenyatta beat him on an inside counter move, but then Simmons rebounded nicely to win a rep against Caden Curry on the very next snap. He pushed him past the pocket when Curry tried an outside rush. Simmons, on his third rep in a row, won against Mitchell Melton. He appeared to try that same inside counter move as Jackson did, and Simmons was ready for it. So good that Josh Simmons is rebounding. George Fitzpatrick showed some good feet. He mirrored Melton and Curry well on back-to-back reps at left tackle. So glad we're getting some depth out there. Carson Hinsman struggled to consistently anchor, big man. Come on. Most of practice, the offensive line was Simmons at left, Donovan Jackson left guard, McLaughlin at center, Luke Montgomery right guard, and Josh Fryer still at right tackle. So we're not really getting a lot of that. Ryan Day talked about giving other guys looks at right tackle. Doesn't sound like that's going to happen. Devin Brown connected with Emeka on a nice 30-yard pass with Jordan Hancock in coverage. Then Brown tried another shot to Carnell Tate, but IGB was in coverage there for an incompletion. Howard had some nice plays. He sidestepped some pressure and hit a short pass to Emeka. He didn't make any throws that blow you away during this practice, but he does handle the chaos of the pocket better than the other quarterbacks. Some subtle movements in the pocket buy him some time without scrambling. And I should mention that Howard lost his black stripe after the scrimmage. That's one thing I do notice about Devin Brown. He's got the happy feet. He's always like chopping his feet. He looks kind of frantic almost, But anyways, Jeremiah Smith had the big catch against Denzel Burke with Caleb Downs closing in. Smith brings in the catch through some contact, runs over Burke in the process. Quinshon Judkins on that same play had a great blitz pickup against CJ Hicks. It wasn't noticed because of what was going on at the other end of the play. Freshman running back James Peoples looked good. He's quick, powerful, runs with good balance. Donovan Jackson picked up CJ Hicks on a blitz and allowed Sayin time to hit Smith for a first down on the slant. Devin Brown ripped a ball over the middle to Bryson Rogers on a crossing route. Rogers looks explosive and fluid as he catches the ball in stride and splits defenders for a 70-yard touchdown. Very nice. Bryson paying dividends. Like to see that. The defense blitzed and has picked up well enough for Devin Brown to complete a slot fade to a Emeka. That was a big play with Downs in coverage. Downs covered it well. Single coverage, and Downs was covering the slot, and it was a great ball. Just dropped it right in the bucket, right over Emeka's, right over his shoulder, down the. I think he was on the hash marks, but great play. Will Howard shows good touch on a wheel route to Judkins. Nice 60-yard touchdown. It was a perfect call against the defense blitzed again, shocker. And the pressure was picked up, and nobody accounted for Quinshon Judkins coming out of the backfield. So that was an easy, big play right down the sideline. Howard had a nice throw to Keon Grays for a first down on a post. So the final period, I believe, was third down period. Anyway, was when Howard looked his best. He got some successive snaps where they kept him in multiple snaps in a row and had some time to throw, so he's a little more successful. Then Howard did get a chance to show his running skills. He cut up the middle for a gain of 5. That might have been a touchdown if it were in a real goal line setting. Judkins showed good balance along the sideline, navigating through a bunch of bodies for a touchdown instead of being stopped inside the 5-yard line around the edge. So, and Keenholz, he had a keeper on a read play, walked in for a touchdown. So they're showing running ability throughout the quarterback room and calling plays accordingly. So that's good to see. Defensive side of the ball, in a 4-3 look, Sonny Styles, Cody Simon, and CJ Hicks are your linebackers. So Sonny goes over to the Sam, and CJ is your Will. Lorenzo Styles was at the nickel occasionally. Styles and Hicks shared time at Will next to Cody Simon. And then Gabe Powers was at the mic behind Cody Simon. Arvell Reese got some snaps as well. Caleb Downs flew downhill to make a hip tag on Bryson Rogers, who caught a crossing pass near the line of scrimmage. So explosion, recognition there from Caleb Downs. Jack Sawyer got the best of Josh Fryer on a rep. Arvell Reese came off the edge to pressure Devin Brown. Sonny Styles even blitzed up the middle and was credited with a sack. The offense ran into some big time problems, though. They're in this one period where they're given the ball at their own 1-yard line, and they got to move it, It's situational football. Get the ball out of our end zone, and they couldn't do it. 3 plays in a row, they gave up safeties. Hicks came on a blitz, blew by Saraveld. I always say that wrong. Austin Saraveld, and got a sack for a safety. Next play, D tackle Caden McDonald gets in for another safety. Play after that, Will Smith blows up a run in the end zone for the 3rd safety. So obviously they're going against, in that particular case, second O-line, second team, but still 3 safeties in a row is pathetic. The offense got 0 push. Jim Knowles blitzed CJ Hicks continuously. Hicks got another sack. He's going to be a real weapon as a blitzer, but they need more from him, right? I mean, you're not just a will linebacker that blitzes, He showed some great play recognition and instincts as he runs down a sweep to Emeka Egbuka on the edge for another loss. So it's coming. It's getting there. Maybe we're right at the tip of the iceberg here. Caden McDonald flashed again at D tackle. He beat Donovan Jackson and stopped Judkins for no gain on 3rd and short. Downs blitzed off the edge and chased Devin Brown to an incomplete pass. Even freshman corner Aaron Scott got in there and had a pass breakup against walk-on receiver David Adolph. Jason Moore had a tip pass on a throw by Howard. In the 3rd down period, Hicks had a 2-yard run stop and then followed it up by running right through Travion Henderson on his way to get a sack. So CJ was a monster, and they really just gave him one job: attack the quarterback, blitz, blitz, blitz. So let's see him do this against other, in other roles and responsibilities. So Ty Hamilton beat Luke Montgomery for a run stop. Mitchell Melton beat Tegra for a sack on Devin Brown. In the red zone period, CJ Hicks showed good patience by staying home on a zone read keeper from Devin Brown and stopped it for a loss of a yard. And to finish it up, freshman defensive end Edric Houston stopped freshman running back Sam Williams-Dixon at the goal line. So freshman on freshman crime there. But anyways, I just wanted to give you guys some of the highlights, the news and notes. Some things stand out more. Obviously, Jeremiah Smith, CJ Hicks, I would say, would be your offensive and defensive MVPs, just for the big splash plays and stuff like that. But that's all I got for you today. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Bucks.